All right, hey guys, welcome back to another one. So, in this one, we'll be talking about the fourth episode of the second season of X-Men 97 and another banger. Like, they have, kept up with the pattern of dropping a fourth episode, which is like absolutely peak. So yeah, if you have not watched the first three episode, I would highly recommend you watch those two, and then you come to this video because this video will contain spoilers. I will go through the episode. I will express my feelings, I suppose, and yeah. And if you are wondering if it's any good, yeah, it's like the best show Marvel has released. I mean, at least in animation so far. Maybe with Loki and Daredevil. Like I said in the last video as well, and I am going to bring up my last video because one of my predictions were correct. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so yeah, now that the spoiler warning is out of the way, let's start. So we got like Kang's appearance in this episode. There is like the Celestial that I talked about. Yeah, that's here as well. We see Noor becoming Apocalypse, and we got some really nice moments between Charles and Magnus, and there were some hints of Remy being resurrected as well. So let's just move like what happened through the whole story. So the first major part of this episode was like the X-Men explaining themselves to Apocalypse that they are not the evil guys and whatever, like where the last episode ended, and how like we see the way Apocalypse became who he became. Like we saw that his mother abandons him. He's like separated from the rest of the group. No one like really accepts him because of how he looks and his basic appearance and whatnot. He's a mutant, and people separate him from their group. We see him that he's sitting alone, away from the rest of the slaves, and he's like pulling up one of the statues by himself and those sort of stuff. He was like sold, and the guy said like don't worry about his appearance. He has like strong shoulders. He's a strong guy, and yeah, I would really feel bad for him if he wasn't like a genocidal mass murderer, but sure, why not. So we see that. Then we see that Charles kind of explains to Noor what happened to them, like they are time travelers and whatnot, but he still does not disclose this to Apocalypse, that he becomes their like worst villain or whatever. He just like so we are from the future, we got stuck here, and to leave this place we need to go to this X temple which is there, and you might have its memories, I feel like. And he goes through Apocalypse's mind and sees all this stuff, and then we see the Celestial calling. So the Celestial's design is quite similar to which we saw in the Eternals one. And later in the episode we also see that the Celestial offers Noor a choice to become one of the Eternals, but then again it made me think that the whole plot of the Eternals was like there needs to be kind of overpopulation on the earth so that the Celestial could feed off its energy and grow. So if the Celestial made Noor an Eternal, made him one of his Eternals, then like isn't he supposed to like kill more people? But that goes against the logic of having more population to feed upon. So that kind of confused me, but yeah. And we see that he gets the power up, like dude got buffed by a Celestial. How is that fair to the X-Men? And yeah, I mean honestly, peak Magneto could even maybe take on Apocalypse. Like come on, if he was not the main villain, obviously Magneto could dog walk him. Like I mean, his whole body has like tubes and whatever. Like his whole ship is metal. I mean, if Magneto wanted, he could have. That's all I'll say. So yeah, he got a buff, and he already like soloed all the X-Men there. Now again, I found this quite stupid, that when you know that he's gonna become Apocalypse if he enters into the shrine, you should not be holding on to your principles, like, oh, I cannot force my way into his mind, or Rogue not touching him to absorb his powers, or just like Nightcrawler could teleport him out of the temple. Like, dude, just screw your morals for once. Save the lives of the people that might be in danger because of it. But yeah, uh, and there was this moment during their fight where Charles, for a moment, shows Apocalypse his mother abandoning him, which reminded me of this solid JJ video, which was basically like, uh, so that how Magneto is a Holocaust survivor. So Charles keeps his Holocaust memories and projects onto his opponents whenever he wants to subdue them, and he just keeps it as a weapon. So yeah, it was, I mean, if you will watch the video, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, kind of funny. But anyways, moving on. So he does that, but even in his base form, Nu defeats them and he enters the shrine. He becomes the Eternal, and Bishop basically takes the rest of the X-Men to the 90s, but Charles stays with him, and Magneto. And come on, I mean, this video could just be me glazing Magneto, because he's just that good of a character. Like, how could you not agree with him? I mean, in the movies I can somewhat understand he's okay, sometimes he's not really the best guy, but I mean, the way they show him in this X-Men 97, like, this dude is such a cool guy. He basically saves the teams. He's like, all right, I'll take him on by myself. Charles stays there, but yeah, he goes like face to face with the buffed up Apocalypse. He's like, dude, stop, don't like just kill people. And he kind of holds his own for a few moments, but Apocalypse is just dropping nukes on him, like, dude. Yeah, and at the same time he's helping Charles. Charles like did nothing. Why did he even stay? Magneto is like, all right, dude, command the ship to stop doing whatever it's doing. Fails at that. Tries to convince Apocalypse that this is not the right way. Fails at that. Tries to protect Magneto during the end. Fails at that. Why did he even stay, dude? Just leave at that point, But yeah. So they fight. He's kind of barely, Magneto is holding his own, but as soon as Apocalypse tries to hurt Charles, he's like, all right, you are not playing with my friend here. I mean, if they are friends, I mean, you don't attack a man. I'm sorry, sorry, this is some of my imagination maybe pouring into the episode, but like, Magnus loves this guy. As soon as he saw that he's in danger, he like went full force. Like, he grabbed whatever metal he could and just threw Apocalypse off the ship. And then again he's like, maybe I'm the evil that sends people to the saint, and cool dialogues, cool dude. I mean, even in the first season we saw he like shut down the grid. That's how powerful he is. So yeah, they had to like one up that, and he basically contains the black hole in this episode. I mean, absolute bonkers feat for any mutant. He's the best mutant. I will say it again. I mean, there may be more powerful mutants and whatever. There's like the one Darwin who survives and whatever, but he's not as cool as Magneto is. Come on, dude. He does not have his leadership skills. But yeah, he basically contains that. He even destroys the ship. So again, here is another one of my questions. Like, if he destroyed the ship, he kind of crashed the ship into the black hole. How did the ship still be there in the future, or did they like change the timeline? Now Apocalypse does not have a ship, so I'm not sure about that. Maybe the ship is not destroyed, just a little damaged, but he kind of pushed it into the black hole. So yeah, whatever. So that happened, and he still survives that. Like, can you imagine? But yeah, he still does. He's in a bad shape, and just then Magneto falls down on some sand and whatever. And all this time, Charles is doing nothing. He's just there. Oh, my wheelchair. Oh no. Oh no. How will I move? There is so much sand. And like, he couldn't even reach Magnus then. But that was a nice moment where he, kind of talked to him like mentally. And yeah, they are cruel for doing what they did in this episode. You just can't, just take away Magneto after making him such a great character. I mean, yeah, somehow I hope they bring him back like, oh, but he was made a horseman or something like that. But I mean, and the chances are kind of less because I mean, they just killed him, and to bring him back would kind of undo a lot of work. But yeah, we see him kind of die, and as soon as he dies, Charles is like, fuck being nice, I'm going straight to his mother. Maybe your mother abandoned you because she saw the evil you were. And dude just, he didn't hold back it. And also kind of felt like he wanted to, provoke Apocalypse to kill him as well, because he just saw his, best friend die. But yeah, Apocalypse does not kill him, and Charles is left there. Bishop comes back. He takes him with him to the 90s, and yeah, that's most of what happens in the episode. We also see that as soon as Kang realizes that Apocalypse has conquered the shrine and taken down the X-Men, he just he leaves. Oh, alright, so my time has come, you guys should manage this. And he leaves the whatever his right hand was, and he's like, well, who is going to defeat him? Well, not my problem. And he is in his OG Kang outfit with the blue face and everything. And yeah, that was kind of cool. We might see him later on. And the way they hinted at Rama Tut being in this second season, they didn't really utilize much of him. He was just there for like a few moments and he left, so he might come back in the later episodes, I'm not sure. But yeah, there was that. Then we already talked about the Celestials. Then Noor becoming Apocalypse. By the way, Noor's design was kind of cooler, I would say, than Apocalypse. Apocalypse feels kind of robotic. I mean, not even that. His head, the bald head kind of takes away from his character design, I guess. But I mean, that's completely preferential. And I do like him where he's like completely buff. If you will see Marvel Contest of Champions, in that game, his design is pretty cool. Like, he's big buff dude. Here he's just like Noor but with kind of metally body and bald head. But here, I mean, in the game, he's quite big, and that's also a fun design. So yeah, he saw that. And Charles and Magnus moments that we talked about really kind of made me emotional. But I would still say it didn't top Remy's death. Remember the name, it was almost there, I would say. But yeah, that happened. And well, what else we talked about? Oh yeah, so this episode had like a post-credit scene, if you might have missed it. So basically the scene was that Wolverine is met by Captain America and Black Widow, and they basically offer him details about Weapon X project. So I'm a little confused here. Is this like a past sequence, or like is Wolverine going to re-enroll himself in Weapon X project? I'm not sure what they really wanted to convey there. Maybe I'm just stupid, but yeah, I think it's just the next episode will deal with Wolverine getting his adamantium skull back. And then again, now that there is no Magneto there is not much stopping him from Wolverine going wild. And so far we didn't really focus much on Wolverine, like the first few episodes as well. He was there just taking down few robots, and I feel like the next episode might be more focused on Wolverine, I guess. But yeah, we'll see. And again, the thing with animation is you can add in as many characters as you like as as just like it's a comic, you can say. because you don't have to deal with all these actors matching their schedule and whatever. In animation you can just put in Captain America. Well, we need morph to morph into Thor. Well, there you are. So I feel like uh, if this was like a completely animated whole another universe where they would bring back the Spider-Man and Daredevil and all those characters, it would be quite fun. The Earth's mightiest heroes, like they could just continue those shows, and I mean I would completely be up for it. Amazing shows. So yeah, uh, anyways, moving on from what ifs. I guess we discussed everything that has happened in this episode, and also there was a moment where Apocalypse, was kind of impressed that Charles and Magneto survived the attack from Ramatet, and he says like, "Well, you survived the attack, so I'll give you the chance to explain yourself." Kind of focusing on that fittest survival of the fittest thing, but yeah. So yeah, that's all that happens in this episode. Again, really great episode. Would highly recommend it. And I mean, come on, guys, if you have really not seen this, I'm putting you onto some like real, like peak shit here. Like, I'm out of words to describe it. That's how good it is. Great animation, great storyline. Voice acting is great. I mean, I can't really think, of anything to complain about other than it being too short. Like I would rather prefer hour-long episodes. I mean, I waited like whole week for 30 minutes of peakness, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.